Tonight, we explore some of the work of the Texas Legislative Black Caucus. 3 News anchor Michael Aspia spoke with several members of the group and has this report. Mike?
You know, when we talk about Black History Month, there are so many names that immediately come to mind. Frederick Douglass, Thurgood Marshall, Barbara Jordan. And while it is easy to think of history as something that happened way back then and there, it's important to remember that there are those who make history here and now. And tonight, some of them are sitting in Austin. Since first arriving here 500 years ago, Black men and women in Texas have produced stories of struggle, resolve, and triumph. Our state is now home to more Black Americans than any other, and that 14% of our total population is never far from the minds of the lawmakers who make up the Texas Legislative Black Caucus, now celebrating their 50th anniversary. Representative Barbara Gervin Hawkins says the bipartisan group's half a dozen priorities include education, health, and bringing reform to our criminal justice system.
What we want to make sure is people understand we love the police, okay? We just don't like bad policing. So we want to make that clear that bad policing, whoever it is a bad thing.
For Representative Carl Sherman, the focus is on those who are incarcerated here in what is the nation's largest prison system. He notes that 70% of the state's nearly 100 prison facilities do not have air conditioning in areas where prisoners are housed, something that can become unbearable in the heat of the summer.
As a former city manager, I'll tell you, we're required by law to have AC in our animal shelters, but we don't for our prison systems.
Members of the TLBC have also done work on the Crown Act, which would ban discrimination based on hair texture or style, like dreadlocks, braids, and twists. It has been championed by Representative Retta Bowers.
It came out of committee unanimously, and some of my colleagues came over to me and apologized because just as you said, they said they didn't even know that this kind of discrimination existed and they possibly could be guilty of it.
Although it ultimately died during the last legislative session, the Crown Act has been refiled for this one. Now, Bowers tells me that it was during the COVID outbreak that she finally stopped straightening her own hair. She says she took a fear-filled leap in cutting it and going with her natural curl pattern, and then, well, she cried when she realized how good it looked. Now, in addition to those that I mentioned, the 20 members of the TLBC have also filed bills on funding mental health resources, raising the minimum wage, and increasing teacher salaries.
All right, Mike, thank you so much.